Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by, I should now say, Minnesota State football's Charlie Butt. How's it going?
It's going great.
Of course, he also went to Wheaton, Warrenville, South High School. Recent graduate there. Yeah, it's just I know it hasn't been that long since we've had you on, but I know you just recently got back from Europe. How was that?
It was great. It was a fantastic experience seeing how they live across the pond, you know? It's always good to get a new experience to see how different people live in different situations. It's interesting to see how old the buildings are and like it's really funny. You go and you see, hey, this building was made in the 1300s and it has a Skechers in it. And it's so funny to see how they take that old kind of like old lifestyle they had, all that old history, and how they integrate it and not make waste of it and allow that to be present in the modern culture with all the modern things. And it's really fun to see just a new way of life. Like they are very leisurely across Europe, which is good for not for better or for worse, but like they'll take breaks. They go play bocce ball in the middle of the workday. They have fun. They take long coffee breaks, and there's not anything wrong with that. It's a little sometimes a little frustrating when you're waiting on the bill for like 30 minutes to an hour, but it's really good that they enjoy life to the fullest, and it's a good thing to see because we don't always get to see that back at home. So I'm grateful to be back, grateful to have the experience. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this is the kickoff to the 2023 edition of the 10 burning questions. Obviously, went well last year, but now it's there's a few ones I kept from last year, a few new ones this year. So here we go. Here's the first one: is how do you mentally prepare for a game?
How do I mentally prepare for a game? It all starts a week before that actual game, reviewing last week's game, what I did well, what I did not well, what did the team do well, what did we not do well, reviewing that, processing that, reflecting on that, and then forgetting about it. New week, new opponent, new opportunity. And that week in practice, let's improve, let's get ready for this game. And come time when it's play, whether it's a Friday, whether it's a Saturday, all that preparation throughout the week is got you ready to go and get out there. And you, by the time you walk out for kickoff, you're smiling. You know exactly what you're gonna do. You know exactly how you played it in your head all week, and it's just a matter of just going out to execute. So it's not a magic formula of like, hey, I gotta listen to this song. Hey, I gotta have my lucky socks on. It's hey, I've been putting in the work all week. Like I know what I'm capable of. I know what the guys are capable around me. I know what's going to be thrown at me on this field. It's just a matter of executing. Let's go do it.
Yeah. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at responding to text messages?
Ooh, it's so hit or miss. I mean, I can fire back like that, or I could be like, oh, like I'll get to it later. Oh, I'll get to it later. I'd say if we were going on like on a 10 scale, I'd say like a good 7.2, I think would be my rating. Like that's like pretty solid. Like that's passable, but not like fantastic. Like not the level I'd like to be.
Okay, so okay, let's just say this. So the city of Warrenville comes to you and says, "We'd like you to choose a new restaurant to come into the town." So what do you pick?
Ooh, a new restaurant. Man. I don't know. I mean, it must be. It might be just because it's summertime and that all the other these all the other type of restaurants like that are barbecue are far away. But I love a good barbecue spot right now. Um, there's not one in the Wheaton Warrenville area. It's like they're all far away, like at least 20, 15 minutes away, and like one that's like a local barbecue restaurant from like the people like from people we know and stuff like that, where it's like a local hangout spot. Like that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. What is your pregame meal before a game?
So we would always, for at least the high school level, we'd always have pasta before our games, which
Yeah.
I typically never really ate. But I'd have a little salad. I'd have like a little protein shake, protein bar, nothing heavy at all. But if it was up to me, I would probably have a little Chipotle bowl before the game. A little just, it's very basic, just steak, cheese, white rice and lettuce. So very basic bowl, just the basic little things. But I'd probably eat like a very like probably half of a Chipotle bowl. That would be my most ideal pregame meal. But as of late, it's only been about salads and just quick granola bar, just whatever to get the body right before the game. Banana.
Yeah. Um, okay, so what do you do to make yourself feel better if you're having a bad day?
Um, I like to stop and think, and most people don't like to stop and think about having the bad days. But you know, when you have a bad day, you gotta be appreciative. You know, sometimes because without if you don't know if it's a bad day if you didn't have good days. You know, so you look back and you're like, hey, today's really sucked, but I had a good day yesterday or I had a good day the other day. Like I wouldn't know this was a bad day if I didn't have those good days. It's the highs and lows of life, the ebbs and the flows. And you reflect and you're like, hey, like this is the stuff I could have done better. When my head hits the pillow tonight, the sun's gonna rise and it's gonna be a new day, a new opportunity, and just another shot to get better, another shot to, hey, if I didn't do well this today, hey, I got tomorrow. You know, and it's just always that optimism of being like, hey, like let's stop and like let's zoom out, you know, we're just all a bunch of little people on a big floating rock in space. So you can't really take things too seriously. And you just got to live life. And you're just like, hey, I can improve on this tomorrow. Like, let's just get through today. Let's get through what we need to be. Let's put a smile on our face and let's continue to go. Keep chopping.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Um, okay, so how much do you remember about past seasons of football or any other sport?
I can I don't remember everything, but I could tell you a lot. I have a lot of fun little stories, little like big moments. Like I remember my first ever like when I tried lacrosse, like I remember my first ever lacrosse scrimmage. Like I could tell you the first play that happened. Like the first time I caught the ball, I caught it right down at the 30-yard line on the home sideline of Warrenville South's own Red Grange Field. And our starting defensive tackle at the time, or defensive end, ran down and I caught the ball and was so surprised I caught the ball. I like took too long and he came down and gave me with a stick check and I just went flying, total yard sale. But it's just the little moments like that where you remember it's like you remember the guys next to you in the huddle like of the season. You remember, hey, this game, like I remember the entire game of sophomore year, our last game of the season of the COVID year in the spring. We won 2-0 against St. Charles North. Like had a safety, and that was the only scoring play of the game, and that was the game. I remember this year, like all the games I got to plan and stuff like that. It's just like it means more when you like know that it's not going to last forever, and you
Yeah.
really try to hold on to those moments that you remember and that were really special to you. You know, like first soccer game I can remember, my first football game I remember my first tackle football game. You know, it's just the little moments like that that make you smile. It's like why it's like, hey, this is why I play the game, you know?
Yeah, sounds good. Um, okay, so here's the next one. If you could pick one form of social media to use and drop the rest, what would it be?
Ooh, I go Instagram for sure.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I love Instagram's ability. It's just a versatile platform. It has essentially the Reels feature, which is TikTok. It has the ability to post pictures and see what your friends are up to, like Facebook. You could still message people and send pictures and filters like Snapchat. You there's not really like a discourse like Twitter aspect, but I think it's the most versatile social media. And for that, I've taken it any day of the week.
Okay. So name a sport you wanted to play but never did.
Ooh. Um, I actually, so this is funny because when I was younger, my mom wanted to throw me in every sport. And she asked me if I wanted to play hockey. And I initially said no to playing hockey. And man, I really wish I did. I love watching hockey. It's such a fun sport to watch. Like the energy, like the culture around the sport is just fantastic. And it's something I'd love to be a part of. And I played a lot of sports, baseball, soccer, football. I've played golf, frisbee golf, not competitively, of course, but pickleball, tennis. I've played a bunch of sports, but I've never played hockey. And I think that'd just be the sport. I think it's the hardest sport in the world, to be honest. And I think I'd love to at least had a crack at it.
Yeah. What is a song that you can sing 100% without looking at the lyrics?
Oh, Ain't No Mountain High Enough for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Good. That's a great pre-practice, pre-game song that just gets me going, like remember the Titans? Just
Yeah.
mm.
If you could say something to your younger self, something you know now but didn't know then, what would it be?
Oh man. I guess one thing, ooh, I guess it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out if you work hard. That's what I'd say. I think it's it's simply sweet, It's not putting too much pressure like, oh, you need to do this. It's just if you work hard, it will work out. Keep showing up, do the things you can do, like control what you can control. Don't worry about anything that you can't control. And if you work out, it's gonna end up well in your favor. And I think that's just kind of a testament that's been to especially the last 4 years of my life. But um it's just a matter of keep showing up. And I think if I had told the younger Charlie Butt about that, I think he'd be a much happier um and less stress-free 4 years.
For sure. All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and we'll talk to you soon.